I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
%10 of all the new cars sold in Iowa come from the Carl Auto Group. Our neighbors trust us to have the largest selection and the highest standards. To our current customers, thank you. And to our future customers, see for yourself why Carl drives Iowa.
Your dealer for life, it's the Carl way.
Chris Williams, Brent Blum, from the Wild Rose Casino Studio. It's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne, on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
What is up, Williams and Brend? No Blum. Not today, at least. Blum's not going anywhere. I am, though. You're watching this on Wednesday. God willing, am in the air or already landed in sunny Florida. Little getaway with the family. Because believe it or not, Big 12 Media Day is just around the corner. I always tell people once the 4th of July gets here, the summer is over for me. And got a new partner in crime. I'm going to have him on the show today. His name is Jake Brend.
What's up?
What's up?
I'm about to learn that. Summer ends 4th of July.
Well, I mean, you've been in the local news game, though. Like, your summer...
I didn't get a summer.
Yeah, that was my point. Like, but when you do this job, like, you're so inundated in clones in Big 12 from basically August 1 until April 1. And even that, now it's extended because of the portal. Like, so then you feel like when you get to May, you're just like, and then like it's really like a 2-month break. And it's not even a break because there's still stuff happening. But that's kind of how I view the calendar.
A 2-month detox. That's probably
of clone.
Yeah,
because it's like the basketball recruiting is always like a thing. Football recruiting has gotten to be very difficult to follow because of just all the movement.
And the basketball recruiting, I feel like when they get a recruit, they get another guy the next week, then they get another guy the next week, and they're just done. It feels like
there's just nothing.
Every year they've just knocked it all out in a month.
Well, anyways, I didn't come here to lecture you about your schedule. Didn't bring you on here. We are presented, as always, by Mechdyne, our friends at Mechdyne and the Mechdyne Corporation, presenting Williams and Blum for like the 5th year in a row now. So we appreciate them. MECHDYNE.com. Go to their job board. They are looking for help, sales and marketing in Illinois and also the Marshalltown locations. They love hiring Iowa Staters. So if you are there, I think there's some remote opportunities too. I was looking around there the other day. When I learned Jake was coming, I was like, man, I just don't know if we could do this anymore. I'm kidding. Well, Jake, welcome to the team. Hopefully everybody listening or watching on YouTube has seen by now, but you started with Cyclone Fanatic full-time this week, and we are really going to beef up our video production. So if you haven't yet, if you're listening, if you haven't subscribed to the Cyclone Fanatic YouTube page, please do that. It's a big deal for us. We want to basically... the data we see on Cyclone Fanatic and on Iowa Everywhere and nationwide is more and more people are consuming YouTube than ever before. They are treating these podcasts like we can see it. You guys are watching them like when you're like at night, sitting around the TV. And you know, this is where we're really pushing. So, I mean, the idea here, and we'll talk about it in this show quite a bit, is Jake's going to bring his storytelling expertise to video for us. And Rob Gray's still going to be around writing. We're not going away from the written word, nothing like that. But we're trying to reach as many people as possible. And we need to go to where they are, which is on social media and YouTube.
Yeah. I've got like my generation, we're just illiterate. Nobody reads anything.
You don't.
We just listen,
and I don't watch videos. But that's the funny thing is like now your content I will, but like usually if I go to a website, if I click on a website and it's just a video, I don't watch it. But the idea here is that it'll be delivered on social.
Yeah.
And we'll also put it like on the internet or not the internet. We'll put it on the homepage. So if you're one of those people, like you can find Jake's work there too. But all that is just in YouTube embed. It's the same thing. And if you go to YouTube, it could be delivered straight to your phone. So we're just trying to utilize modern technology. I don't know. You guys are illiterate. You guys are ruining the world.
Hey, don't blame me. Blame
When's
me.
the last time you read a book?
Oh, the one you got me for Christmas.
Oh, good. You actually read it.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I read probably 3-4 books a year. I get in phases. Like I read that book that you got me and the Nikola Jokic autobiography. I read those in like
You're sick, man.
In like a 2-week span, and I haven't opened a book since.
How depressed were you when Monte Morris got traded from the Nuggets?
I was so he was the reason I became a Nuggets fan.
Really?
Yeah.
See, this is why you're working here.
Yeah, I know. So I've got so many Monte Morris stories. But anyways, I was somewhat a Bulls fan. I never had an NBA team because my dad didn't have an NBA team, so I kind of hopped on the Fred bandwagon. And then I hated how the fans treated him. So I said, screw that. I'm not a Bulls fan.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a team. I had a couple buddies who were Nuggets fans. And then Monte got drafted there. I'm like, screw it. I'm following Monte to the NBA.
I'm the worst kind of Bulls fan because I was there in the 90s and just like religious about it. I was there for Tim Floyd. I stuck all the way through it, through Fred. And then I was like you. I was going to Chicago 2-3 times a year, and Fred would get me tickets or Charlie Henry would get me tickets. And these people were horrible. And I just said, F it, and I'm done. Like, I don't even pay attention to them anymore. Hoiberg going to the Bulls, almost, I could positively tell you it ruined my NBA fandom as far as teams go. Because now I just root for Halliburton wherever Niang is.
Did you see that Niang had a birthday? I guess this is recording. So
yeah.
He had a birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you see how old he is?
No.
He's 32.
Wow.
Which just...
He's like old in the NBA.
I know. He's a vet. It's bizarre.
Well, yeah, so I fully blame the Hoiberg Bulls era on just completely deteriorating my team fandom from that league.
I still believe that if Hoiberg would have taken the Warriors job that he was offered the year before, that he'd be Steve Kerr.
Completely agree.
And if Steve Kerr took the Chicago job, he'd probably be on TV again.
Couldn't agree more.
Not that Steve Kerr's not a great coach, but it's pretty hard to screw up Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant.
Very similar personality to Fred, though.
Yeah, and they were running his offense.
Which is why the transfer era worked so well at Iowa State. Because Fred just treated them like NBA players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just gave them that freedom
All these
on
misfits.
and off the court. Well, anyways, Jake, appreciate you being on here with us. You are a really talented guy, and I'm really excited to have you on Cyclone Fanatic.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to just be in this new media world. I got to experience TV, and I'm I'm very grateful. Like they hired me, Local 5 hired me when I was still in college. And like I can't even express how much gratitude I have for that. But what I was doing was just outdated and I could tell. And I think if not the viewers could tell or people on social media, I think you could tell by numbers and engagement that there's just other ways to get content to people. And I think you do it better than anybody in the state. And I think we're only scratching the surface at what that can look like.
Well, I think that Iowa State fans, they've proven this to me time and time again, that they will consume it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even the 0-19 COVID year, which is legit maybe the 6 worst months of my life. Like I think a lot of people could say that. It's not an Iowa State basketball commentary. I mean, it sucked. It was horrible. The winter always sucks anyways, but then like that winter was just awful for all these different reasons. And they were still completely engaged. So I just think that this is a great opportunity for us to expand I think we have a really great footprint in, as far as it goes in central Iowa, in the state of Iowa with Iowa State. But I think we can chip into other areas and reach people that we probably haven't reached before.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna create and there's two things about this. It's like we want to do that, but we also want to stay true to who we are. Right. So when I say we're going to start a TikTok page, we're not going to be like dancing in front of it. And,
I thought Aiden was.
That's what I always thought TikTok was until we started doing it on Iowa Everywhere. I thought it was just females dancing and like mouthing lyrics in bikinis.
I mean, we could do that.
It's possible. Well,
me and Aiden.
Jacqueline's the only female. So that would be on her. No, but I think we can do this. Like the vision we have is that you get to do a lot of the same work you've done on TV, just on steroids about the Cyclones. Mm-hmm. And like we were talking today, it's like, okay, like Jet Thamala decommits. That could be a story. Like Jet Thamala commits, like we could do a story. Like there's so many freaking things that we could be doing that we are writing about and they're on our front page. But I would suggest that 80% of our audience doesn't receive it from us because of the way we're distributing it. And that's where you come in.
Yeah, when I was at Local 5 on a typical game day, let's just say it's a 3:00 football game, Iowa State, K-State, or whatever. I would get my stuff in for the 10:00 news. I'd be on camera. I'd read the highlights. I'd toss to a soundbite or two. Then I'd give it back to the studio. And then I would post my clips from the presser. Like, here's Rocco Beck talking about finally making 10 wins. 400 retweets, 1,000 likes. I'd post my link to a digital story that you had to watch 2 ads to get through, 2 likes. And I think that just right there. Or even posting, Jalen Knoll had 89 yards on just 3 catches today. Here are those 3 big plays.
Yeah.
200 retweets. Like, that took me no time at all to cut that video, to put the tweet out. And I think that's only, again, scratching the surface of, like, that is my job. That's not extra. That's not doing something else on top of what I should have already been doing. Now it's like, that's all we're doing.
Lean into the clone passion that you have.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean,
it's going to come out like the Hulk.
Yeah, like that's the thing that is great about this job is, I've pissed people off there over the years, but they all know at the end of the day, everybody, I'm honest about it. I want Iowa State to win. And I believe that the majority of media actually has bias. Like they have teams that they're rooting for. Or like that coach pissed me off in the past. I want him to lose. But we're not honest about it. The old school guys, I think, truly are. Like, I just, the whole thing has evolved, and I think fans just want honesty, and it's okay if you're, I don't know, like if the team's 2-10, we're gonna say that they suck, right?
Yeah.
But you can still like hope that they don't. Like that's what we've kind of built this on. And at first, when I was your age and we were starting this, it was like I was really, really, really against that. Like I tried to fight it, and I think I almost went too far with it. Like I would never wear any sort of Iowa State color to us. You would never see me ever with an Iowa State logo anywhere. And now it's just like, it's okay, like to just be honest, but we're going to bring it as far as the, but that's the passion, right? Like, I feel like if you don't have that passion now, you're just going to get left behind. And there's still a need for the other stuff. Like if it were up to me, like the Des Moines Register would be thriving. It would be 10 times as big as it is right now. Unfortunately, we live in reality. And Gannett is owned by a hedge fund. And the great people there, like my dear friend Trav, like they're working their ass off. Like Hines is working his ass off. You can only do so much. We have a leadership team here where we want to invest in the product because we don't have all the overhead that, right? Like that's just how the business side of it works. And I mean, Iowa State fans are really lucky that our ownership group allows us to do this. So yeah, I'm excited because I think that it will showcase our product to a whole group of humans that, while they may have been aware of what Cyclone Fanatic is, maybe it was just the Williams and Blum podcast, or maybe they were just a pregame viewer on Twitter or whatever. Like, I think this is going to, with the growth of YouTube and everything, I think we're going to hit a lot of different demographics.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, too, with being a fan or with having a bias, I think sometimes you might get more honesty out of that anyways.
I agree.
Because, like, I felt like crying at the Big 12 championship when Arizona State went up, whatever it was, like 28-7 or 28-10. I was like, I get sick to my stomach in these games. And when I talk about the games after, like I have those real emotions. And obviously I've learned, especially as I've gotten older, probably back when I was at wide right, I'd be like, oh my gosh, the quarterback sucks. I'm going to call him out by name. These days you process it a little bit more and you're able to talk about that. But when a terrible loss happens, I feel that. And I didn't really convey that on Local 5 much because, again, I was supposed to be in that Des Moines Register role that you're talking about with no bias against or for either side. But, I mean, I got Cy on my ankle like that.
When did you get the Cy tattoo?
I got the Cy tattoo my freshman year in college or sophomore year
in college. And you
went
to Simpson.
Yeah, I went to Simpson. So I was 18 or 19 when I got that tattoo.
What made you choose the walking Cy tattoo of everything you could have got on your ankle?
Well, I wasn't going to do the Block Eye State.
Good choice. I might get the Bugle logo just to be ironic.
I've always liked the Walking Cy logo.
It's the best.
I thought it would look the best as a tattoo. It would have been either that one or the 1984 tornado, not the Twister Cy, but the script Iowa State with the little tornado. But I remember my mom telling me, what if you get a job in media and can't have an Iowa State tattoo? Or like, what if the University of Iowa offers you a job? I'm like, I'm not going to take it. But little did I know that one day I'd be walking the sidelines at Kinnick Stadium. So I wore jeans. I think the first game I ever shot there was like 95 degrees. It was the 7-3 game against South Dakota State. And I was in jeans because I gotta cover up that bias.
That's why all those TV reporters were tweeting at Jake that he no longer has to wear pants
So
to games.
When I was an intern at WHO, Freund and I, we went to the Field of Dreams game, and on the way back was Iowa Football Media Day. So we were in an Airbnb for probably 2 or 3 days, and I didn't even think about the Iowa Football Media Day, so I didn't pack any jeans. I just had shorts. And here I am still an intern, terrified. I'm like, I cannot have the SID know, or I cannot have the players know that I like Iowa State. So I went and bought like a massive Band-Aid and put it over. It's funny looking back. And now, I mean, we'll see. I still might cover it up because I don't want to look like a homer all the time, but
Yeah, no, I feel you there.
I think pretty much every media member in the state knows that I want Iowa State to win, but hopefully they also respect the work that I do.
That's the goal. That's always the goal. It's always been the goal here, at least. So I want to get to where you became an Iowa State fan, get some of your favorite Cyclones, all that stuff. But I want to thank some of our great sponsors, specifically our friends at Gravitate Co-working, always sponsoring the Wednesday show here on Cyclone Fanatic. Go to gravitatecoworking.com. Check out all the great co-working locations in the state of Iowa. You just need to get out. I've been writing this book for 3 years now, and I've learned that I can't just do it sitting on my couch. I have to be like somewhere with a desk, and maybe you're stuck in a rut. Get to Gravitate Co-working. Let them give you allow yourself to give them a shot, is what I was trying to say. You should also consider getting your will done with our friend Hopewood. HopewoodJD.com. She's done hundreds of wills for Iowa State fans through this. You can get it done in a day. It's not a sexy thing. Nobody wants to go get their will done, but Hope will make it nice and easy for you. Very affordable as well. MoveWhatMatters.com. Our friends from the Iowa State University Foundation make a gift to a place on campus that is important to you. When did you were you born an Iowa State fan?
Oh, yeah. So my mom is from Iowa City, and my grandparents are diehard Iowa fans, but my dad grew up an Iowa State fan. My parents met at Iowa State, and I remember being 2 years old. Or no, I would have been 4 years old. My brother would have been 2. I'm already an Iowa State fan. Like, I've had no questions about it. And my grandparents were just trying to get my younger brother to be both. And I said, that cannot happen, Ethan. Like, you are an Iowa State fan. And from that day, my brother and I have been nothing but Iowa State. My mom always tried. Because she's a both. She's probably like...
Really? So she does root for Iowa.
She's probably like 80% Iowa State now, 20% Iowa. Like,
did she approve of this job movement?
Oh, yeah, she did.
Okay.
Like, she is much more... She is an Iowa State fan now, but she grew up a Hawkeye and was 50-50 for a lot of my life. But marrying into a Cyclone family, getting season tickets, riding a tailgate bus, she is mostly converted, but she does cheer for Iowa, and she'll wear an Iowa shirt from time to time, which she's my mom. I love her, so I won't say anything, but I never in my life have I considered myself even close to an Iowa fan. So it's a lifetime thing. And I remember it's weird looking now at what the demographics are. It's a pretty straight 50-50 split. It's maybe even more leaning towards Iowa State in central Iowa for younger people.
Central Iowa, definitely. Yeah.
I grew up in Indianola. That is 45 minutes from Ames. I had in my 30-person roughly class in second grade, there was one other Iowa State fan. I remember standing up. They would play the fight songs the day before the Cyhawk game. They'd play the Iowa fight song. They'd play Iowa State fights. And I would be the only one to stand up for the Iowa State fight song, and people would boo me and throw pencils at me.
They're just horrible fans.
Yeah, it was traumatizing.
All over you.
Yeah, it was traumatizing. So I've kind of always had that chip. I played college tennis at Simpson. My first year there, I think there was 9 guys on the team. 8 Iowa fans. I was the only Iowa State fan. So it's kind of been my whole life. So it's good to be at a spot where that doesn't exist anymore.
And nobody, I mean, I grew up in a very much ag community, so we had the farm community that rooted for Iowa State when I was a kid, but that was it. It was, actually, we have way more Nebraska fans than Iowa over there. It is really cool. I've been doing this 20 years. And I remember I was lucky to come in at the time when McCarney had things, it wasn't like the old gold pants days where you just showed up to get your ass kicked. Mm-hmm. But it was still like practicing in the Lead Rec Center, basketball. I remember Greg McDermott's first year practicing at State Gym. Like Gary Thompson played there. So like I've seen where it was and where it is now and with the fan base. And it's one of the, again, it's why I'm so excited about bringing you on. Because I think we can reach a lot of these younger people like your age that probably, I don't know, like you could tell me better, but our bread and butter is 30 and up. I think there's a lot of people in their, late teens and 20s that would probably consume our content if it was more readily available for them.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I do think there's probably a split or a divide in the fan base on what bad looks like.
Yes, absolutely.
Aiden and I, we toe that line because I vividly remember the Gene Chizik era, but I wasn't around before that. So I don't.
So you don't ever remember watching Dan McCarney?
No, I remember going to the games, but I don't really remember that era of like knowing what's going on. And same thing with McDermott. Like I don't really remember Wayne Morgan or anything before that. But I do know what it's like for Iowa State to be in a black hole. I remember when they made the NCAA tournament that first time with Royce White, and I thought it was the biggest deal in the entire world. And now you kind of take that for granted. And I know that there are like college students right now.
Covered that game.
Cade Kelderman, didn't he say his first memory was the Will Clyburn team?
Yeah, I did that interview with him.
Which is, I'm like, 4 years older than Kelderman. So that line is really close to where if you became an Iowa State fan, like at the start of the Hoiberg era, yeah, a couple of those prom years sucked, but you've been a fan of
pretty good.
You've had a top 20 basketball team for almost 15 years now.
I'm old enough to remember the Wayne Morgan years when you went to the NIT and it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like waiting in line for hours to get NIT tickets. Which now we'd be like pissed about it.
Would we even cover that? I'm joking.
I don't know.
We probably would, but
we would acknowledge it, but I don't think we would go on the road to cover that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the fans would care because it's Iowa State, but the expectations are just so high now in that sport specifically.
Mm-hmm. And same thing with football. Like I do remember I would sit through, I think I still have a post on Instagram. I was looking at that the other day. It's either from 2013 or 14. And it's a picture from, my family sits up in section B, which would be the northwest corner. And I took a picture of the scoreboard and Hilton Coliseum. It was like a 50-0 Oklahoma win or something. And I said, well, there's always basketball season. So I do remember the horrible Paul Rhodes years too. And I've been able to not suffer completely like a lot of, especially the 60-plus Iowa State fans. Like they know suffering better than anybody. So I think I'm in a good spot where I can hopefully relate to the younger generation that thinks 7-5 is an awful season.
Oh yeah, like we got that 2 years ago, and that was a great turnaround. Mm-hmm. And I have a hard time with that. I think the one piece of advice I would have for you going into this is that you want to acknowledge and you want to listen to people when they talked about our product, but you can also be completely inundated by the Twitter crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
And they do not represent the majority. Like that's a very vocal, not all of them, but that is like a very polarizing crowd. And that's across all sports. That's not just Iowa State. Like that's the most trolls are on there. Like I think the best place to talk Cyclones on the entire internet is our premium message board with like just the educational, like there's so many good conversations about where I like, this is what I do. I learn things because it's very spread out generationally. You have guys in their 60s, you have guys in their 20s. And like, to me, that's the best place to go. But yeah, like there's been, I don't know what the recent study is, 'cause it's all weird now because there's like Blue Jeans and then there's the TikTok and there's all these different places where the people are at.
Oh, wait, what's Blue Jeans?
That's that liberal app.
Oh, Blueski?
Yes.
That one. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I set up an account.
Where all the liberals went because they don't like Musk, right? Like,
yeah. I set up an account just in case someone wanted to steal my account name, but I haven't had the energy yet.
Well, here's the deal, and I have like, it's funny. I don't give a shit what. I do not care who you voted for. Don't tell me.
Me neither.
Like, stop. I don't care. And I don't care who. I don't care why. I don't care. They'll like all these people, because I know there's people on this blue sky app or whatever it is. And I know I should be posting on there, but I only have 24 hours in a day. Like, I cannot be like, if they make it easier so we can hit one button and it goes to both platforms, I'm fine. But I'm not going to start over there. I've been building this Twitter account for 15 years. It's really complicated.
I've been on Twitter since 8th grade. I've had this same account since 8th grade.
And I admire you for not getting canceled yet, because if I would have had Twitter in college, it would have been a disaster.
I'll have to tell you a story off air.
Looking forward to this.
Nearly.
And even today, like I did this thing the other day. This was so stupid, and I should have thought about it, but you never know how other people are going to take things. But it was on my Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, I took what I thought was the most beautiful picture of my daughter. She looked stunning. She's 10. And I was just like, oh my God, like she is beautiful. And I put as the caption, and I put the Rodney Atkins song, Cleaning This Gun, as the background. I said, we must protect the Second Amendment at all costs. It was a joke, like about the song and the guy and his daughter. That's all it was. Oh my God. You would have thought that I, made a controversial comment about like Israel and Iran. Like it was, and I get it. Like I totally understand it looking back. Like if I'm just this like really polarized political, like, and I see that, like I'd freak out. But in my mind, like I thought I was making a joke about a man and his daughter and protecting her and just being like, hey, I'm a redneck. That's what I thought I was doing. Nobody took it that way. So I deleted it within like 35 minutes. So it didn't get that much traction, but it's just like so much of it is how people want to perceive something or want to be offended by. And like, that's the thing, like during the game that I found, and I've gone back and forth with how much do I tweet during games and how much do I just keep to myself and take notes and stuff for the post-game show. Because oftentimes, like with what we do, this is why I really don't like doing the instant reaction shows. Because the reason is, I really have come to respect coaches. Even the bad ones are good to get to where they've gotten in some capacity, right?
Yep.
You don't fake it.
You have to be.
Yeah. You don't fake it to that level. So what I really like to do is ask them about why you made a decision and get their insight and then go on the air. But fans don't want to wait. Like sometimes that's an hour after the game by the time we talk to the coach, right? But what I found is a lot of times, like we'll put out a tweet during the game, like where I have like this opinion that's kind of hot takey, and it turns out to just be totally wrong, right? Because it's I'm emotional. I want Iowa State to win. And then, or you can have a very measured take, and it's not hot enough for that type of crowd that wants the hot take. right? So it's like you just kind of have to feel it out. Like, I don't know. Do you get where I'm going
I
with that?
totally get what you're saying. Like, Milan Momcilovic struggles in round of 32. 5 minutes in, you tweet, I think you just got to keep feeding him the ball and hope your shot maker starts making shots. And you've got someone saying, no, he should be benched.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That happens.
Oh, yeah, just bench the only guy on the court that can make a three right now. It's a great idea. I get what you're saying. It's almost, what would be the word? It's almost counterproductive to tweet out a reasonable take because it's probably not going to get engagement, and it's also not going to be hot enough, or it might be too hot for some people.
We just need to be just be a reasonable voice in the room with an opinion. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I try.
It's tough, but your content, I think, on game day will really be a step up for us. I think that we were discussing this to everybody in a staff meeting on Monday when Jake started. And like some of the packages you'll be able to put together after games with quotes and highlights and just everything will be a really nice piece that I don't think really anyone else is doing. I mean, TV does it, and you guys have all done a good job, but it's the interesting thing about these TV stations is if you don't watch it on the TV, it's hard to like a lot of the stations. Yeah. Like a lot of the parent companies have rules like, well, you can't tweet it out until 2 days after, or like I've heard of these all over the country. And if you put it out there and say, hey, you need to click on this link to take this in, well, you just lost 1 or 2/3 of the people who would watch it, right? Like, is that what you were discussing earlier?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just going to put it on the Cyclone Fanatic feed and boom, my feed, your feed, it's going to be everywhere.
You're cutting out the middleman. And the other thing that I'd add as a very, very big positive for what we'll be able to do is in TV, everything kind of hinges on when the game is. The news is at 10 o'clock. That doesn't change.
Yeah.
So if you've got an 11 a.m. game, it's great. You've got a lot of time to work on your stuff, but your content isn't going to air until 8-9 hours after the game finishes. And if you've got a 7 o'clock game, you're probably not even going to be on air because the game will go past 10. What we'll be able to do is, whether it's an 11 a.m. kick, a 3 o'clock kick, a 7 o'clock kick, my content will be the exact same every single game. It'll just be, 2.5 hours after the game's over, you can expect this. And then 3 hours after the game's over, you can expect this, whether that's at 4 o'clock or whether that's at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think that'll be good to build habits, not only for me, but just for people and what they can expect after a game.
Consistency is everything. So if we say we're going to do it, we're going to do it. Really look, and then other shout outs on our team, of course, Rob doing his thing. Jacqueline is really taking on a role where she kind of helps me keep the ship on track. Of course, she'll cover wrestling and takes photographs and all that stuff. But Jacqueline is kind of my right arm these days. And then Kyle Starcevich is doing a lot of graphics and stuff for us, former Cyclone, which is invaluable, like especially with what we're going to keep building on the social front. Just massive. We had him for March Madness last year, and we got so many compliments on what we were doing as far as the video work, and so that'll get better. And then, of course, Aiden's always kind of just lurking in the background, helping us crank this stuff out. So I'm excited. Like this is our 20th year of Cyclone Fanatic, and I truly think this is the best team we've ever had. I think that we're in a spot where we can reach the most people. And it is kind of wild. I had a bunch of guys on the premium board when I announced that you were joining the roster about how far it's all come when Jeremy started this thing. And he gets so much of the credit for firing this thing up in 2005. But like, I'm really proud of the whole group. And like, we couldn't have done it without all the really loyal subscribers and, all that stuff. It's special. And I hope everybody is excited about it as I am. And I'm happy for you because there's just not a lot of people, Jake, who get to wake up and you feel like you're not working and you feel like you're doing, because you're passionate about Iowa State, which is huge. But most importantly, I can tell you're passionate about media and like, creating content. And because you can't have one without the other in this line of work. And I just remember when I was your age, I would get fired up. I was doing something totally different, but it was like, oh, what am I going to write about today? I had a goal, like at the beginning of Cyclone Fanatic, I would write 6 articles a day.
Wow.
And now that not all of them are long, like some of them are like 250 words, but like I loved it. I loved every minute. Like, oh man, I'm going to call that JUCO coach. Like it was just like, I was just wanting to And I think that you're going to have that. I think you're going to feel that every day, and I'm excited for you because that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll feel that. That's what I've felt. And don't get me wrong, I loved my time at Local 5.
Of course.
I didn't enjoy state soccer as much as I enjoyed Kansas in Hilton Coliseum on a Tuesday. And the feeling that I get on a game day or even like the day or two before a game day, it is just second to none.
Friday night before a football game is my favorite time of the week.
Up in the camper. Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm around all the clones.
I'll kind of miss high school football, but it will be nice not working until midnight the day before.
If you want, you can still do that though. That's the glory of this thing.
That's true. Yeah. If there's
Keith Murphy called you and needed a correspondent to go and do the Ames game, you could.
Oh, Murph goes straight to voicemail on my phone.
F that guy. We're both from the Murphy coaching tree.
We are. Yeah,
That's great.
It's crazy how big the Murphy coaching tree is.
The Murphy tree.
I think I'm the only 2-time Murphy intern.
I got the hell out of there. I couldn't do another year. Got tired of feeding Andy's dog.
Yeah.
Bossed around. Last thing I'll say is that I do think, and you've given a shout out to Local 5, and I want to give a shout out to all those TV and the small town radio guy. Like I did that for 3 years. I interned with Keith for 1. After the one summer with Keith, I said I never want to do this. This is not what I grew up watching. Like on TV, like not that it was any different. It was the same. When you watch it on TV, you're like, oh, that guy just goes in front of a camera and talks about sports. Oh, no. Like, that is not what that job is. And I was like, absolutely not. And I was spoiled because I was just an internet guy. It's like, screw that. But the small town media guy and you said the Friday Night Football, those are the hardest workers in our industry.
The small town radio guy that shows up. I don't know if I took a picture, but state soccer this year is the quarterfinals, pouring rain all day. And these small town radio guys had these like waterproof huts in there. They're
calling the games?
Yeah, they're setting up their equipment in this hut, but they're also like holding the hut open with one arm. They're holding the roster on the other arm. I'm like that.
I once
that
called
is dedication.
A quadruple header from my cell phone in Northwest Missouri one time, keeping my own stats.
What sport?
Basketball.
Oh, that's tough.
Teams I didn't know either. Like there was some like in Missouri, I want to say like small town Missouri, they do like their district. At least they did at the time. They're like they start districts. It's like a tournament style, and it's in one gym. So there'd be a boys game, a girls game, a boys game, a girls game, and they start the games at like 1:00, and you go through until they're all done. And I got sent down there, and then the phone line was dead. We didn't have cell packs back then. The phone line was dead. The internet wasn't even a thing to broadcast on the internet. And I was literally like, so I had to find a place to plug in my phone. I sat in the bleachers while I was trying to keep stats from these teams I didn't know. I didn't know any of the players. I'd never seen them before. Keeping my own stats, holding the phone up, and I did it for 4 games.
Yeah, that's
it was brutal.
That's a grind, and I'm excited to grind because it's still going to be a grind. But I'm excited.
It's a grind, but you're as passionate about who's going to be the backup middle linebacker as you are,
Yeah.
the starting quarterback. And that's what this job really takes. Like, you got to really care. Oh, who's that transfer? The D lineman in football, the Malloy. Oh, I need to dig into that. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what makes this, because the fans demand it. Like, our fan base, like, that's what they care about, which is what makes it so fun. You spend 100% of your time just diving into that, as opposed to spreading yourself out all over the place.
I can't wait. I love football. I think we're a little opposite, where, like, if I could only cover or talk about one sport the rest of my life, it's probably basketball. So that should be a good compliment.
I have shifted. Yeah, I used to be like you. I used to be more into basketball. I really love Big 12 basketball. I love it less now with the 16 teams.
Yeah.
I really liked the round robin. But I get it. Evolve or die, but whatever. But I've grown to, I think, enjoy covering football more the older I've gotten. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense, because Iowa State's gotten so good, and I have a lot of very close connections to the current. I do think that has impacted me, because I think that there's a part of me that would rather be watching TJ's teams, but I also, like, it's so special that I want to be there chronicling it as well. So it's a weird dynamic. But the business of college football is what has been my passion point for the last 10 years. Because it's just, I was explaining to Jake earlier today in our office my passion for Formula One racing. Well, I love auto racing. I've always loved auto racing. There's only one form of auto racing that involves geopolitics, billionaires, agents, athletes, engineering. It's all these things that you throw into it. And that's kind of how I feel about college football.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, now we got this, like, billionaire at Texas Tech that's just like, I'm just going to go and buy my way into like, it's fascinating to me.
I've paid attention to Donald Trump when it comes to college football more than I have politics the last 4 years. Which I can't even imagine. You sent out a great tweet the other day. You're like, if he keeps Dominika Splita, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah, I don't get political, but if it keeps the backup German forward from the roster, then maybe. I don't care. Damn what side it is. There will be hell to pay. I am going to register as a Democrat. No, I can't even imagine, like, when, 11, 12 years ago, when I was listening to you on Sports Fanatics, and I feel like all of this relocation or realignment stuff was starting. I can't even imagine fast forwarding now to talking about the guy from Home Alone involved with some billionaire trying to save college football. I'm so glad I don't have 3 hours to fill every day now. Do you know that you probably don't remember this, but I'm pretty sure I won some, like, I called in and I won some gift card to a barbecue place. Claxons. Yeah. We used to do that every Friday. Yeah, I don't think Claxons is even open anymore. Yeah, in fact, I know it's not. I drove by it the other day. Yeah, I just remembered that. I probably hadn't thought about that in the decade. I was probably 14 or 15 years old calling in when that happened. Yeah, if I did that show now, it would be, I don't know, we'd probably get pretty good ratings, actually, because Ross would just get so mad at people who said the players shouldn't be paid. Yeah. Ross would just de-testicle them on the air, because that's his, like, big pressure cooker. It's kind of like me in the Rose Bowl, like how I hate those people. That's how Ross is with people who fight the professionalism of college sport. Like, our show would be 90% on all this crap. And honestly, and like, I know I've told you, I think I've told you this. If I haven't, I'm telling you now, like, I really would like to, like, let me and Blum do our thing, right? We have such a great perspective with Blum and his day job and all that stuff. It's great information. I hope fans appreciate it and how authentic he is. But I really want Cyclone Fanatic to
is with our game coverage and stuff to return talking about the game. Mm-hmm. You know, like, okay, so all this other stuff is real. Fine. You know what? Dan McCarney dealt with shit too. Dan McCarney was, you know, didn't have an indoor practice facility in Ames, Iowa, for God's sake. Like, everybody's dealt with shit. Like, what does the team need to do better to win? You know, like, what was a great play? Like, let's get back to analyzing the game more. And I think that if I could critique us in the last 3 or 4 years, that would be one of it. But you have to understand where we come from too, where it's Brent's livelihood, it's my livelihood. We're in the middle of this. Somehow I get caught up in all of it, you know, because Cyclone Fanatic has been really a driving marketing source for the collective. So like, I'm in the middle of all of it, and like, and I am ready. I hope this house settlement somehow allows us all, and I know Brent feels the same way, to just talk about the sports. We'll see.
Yeah. And you guys have done such a good job at analyzing it that I haven't even bothered. Like, I've almost made it a point of pride on Bigger Than 12 with Duke and I that I'm just going to leave it to the experts, because my opinion is honestly just based off of what I hear from you guys, because I'm not smart enough to be in the room and know all that
you're
stuff,
smart
so.
enough. And this is what's so fun, and I can't wait to watch you grow, is you just gain so much perspective every year you're in the industry, because you meet more people and more people trust you and they'll talk to you. And like, that's my thing now. It's like, this will be my 20th Big 12 Media Day coming up. I'm only 40.
I can't wait for that.
Right. So like, but you see more of it, and then you learn, oh, that guy's a snake. And then you can kind of just develop, and like, so that it's like, you mentioned Bigger Than 12 on Iowa Everywhere. Like, the Legends and Listeners show is just phenomenal. Like, those guys,
so good.
If you're an Iowa or a Big Ten fan, like, that is the single best show on the internet. And it's because of years and experience. So yeah, I think that when you throw Rob into the mix, and now we've got your spunky ass, and then Jacqueline just bossing us all around, it's going to be great. Speaking of Rob, you and Rob are going to do our Sunday night show.
Yep.
I told Blum we need to all recharge. It really has. I'm not asking for sympathy. It's been a really taxing couple of weeks for him, and so I said, just take your refresh. We'll get going when we come back, and it'll be time to go, because again, once the 4th of July hits, boom, it's time to rumble, baby.
I need to text him, see if he wants to golf.
Oh God!
I don't even know what life is like.
Bloom doesn't need an excuse to golf. He's probably already out there waiting on you.
I have nights off now. I don't even know what to do with myself. It's so weird. I'll probably watch the hockey game on my couch tonight, or on Tuesday night, instead of sitting at my desk, like wrenching my neck to turn at the TV in the office. It's weird.
Again, it took me one summer doing local TV to realize how much I hated doing it. I got nothing but respect for people who work those hours. And then those morning people. My God.
I wouldn't have made it a week.
They get there at like 3 a.m.
I woke up at 6 a.m. today, and I was not struggling, but I just felt weird. I can't even imagine waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, they go to bed at like 6.
Yeah, and so I'm just supposed to not watch the Cubs play?
Blasphemy.
Ridiculous.
All right, brother. Great to have you on board. Appreciate you. Aiden Wyatt producing.
This was fun.
We got lots more of these, buddy. Next time we'll talk some sports. How about that?
I'm in.
All right.
Way
Jake
in.
Brend, newest member of Cyclone Fanatic. Look forward to having him on the team. Thanks to Mechdyne, our presenting sponsor, as always here. Williams and Bloom on your Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week.